Shivananda Sharma Memorial RV College, an ISR initiative. SSMRV College, one of the premier institutes run by the prestigious RV group of institutions, has come up with a unique initiative to engage students at the time of this unforeseen medical emergency caused by corona outbreak. As a socially responsible institution, we would like to connect academically with students to make good the losses caused. In this connection, I, Sindhushri NS of the Department of English, have posted a video on the subject English, and this is a revision of all the lessons for second semester of BCom, and this is part 2 of the video. Watch the video till the end, like, share with your peer groups, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. This is the content. You have the revision of the short story Happy Prince and the revision of the poem The Sundarbans. Revision of other lessons you will find in part 1 of the video. For the lessons definitions of femininity and masculinity, Hayavadhana, Endymion, you will find the full video lecture in the same YouTube channel. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we'll start with The Happy Prince. It is a beautiful short story written by Oscar Wilde. As the name suggests, it's a story about a prince. And what kind of a prince? He was a happy prince. He is a happy prince when he was a happy prince when he was alive. Now he is not a happy prince. Why? We will get to know why. After his death, his statue was installed on a pedestal and he was able to see the miseries of the people of his city. The statue of Happy Prince, it was decorated in a beautiful way. How he was decorated, how the statue of Happy Prince was decorated? The statue of Happy Prince had two bright sapphires for eyes. For eyes, he had two beautiful bright sapphires, a large red ruby on his sword handle. On his sword handle, he had a large red ruby. And his body was covered with thin gold leaves of fine gold. So he was he was decorated beautifully with all the costliest things. He was decorated with bright sapphires for eyes, a large red ruby on the handle of the sword, and his body was covered with thin gold leaves of fine gold. So as he was decorated beautifully, he was admired by the people of his city, of the city where he was installed. People used to come have a look at him. They used to exclaim, "Wow, how beautiful he is! At least there is a person who is not fed up with the world. At least there is a person who is very happy and who is very beautiful." People used to speak or utter all these words. One day, what happens? A little swallow, a swallow flew over the city, and his friends had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before. His friends, they had left for Egypt. Now the little swallow, he was alone. Why didn't he go to Egypt? As he was in love with the most beautiful reed. And this reed, she didn't need to go with him. Little swallow left the reed and flew to the city of Happy Prince. Because of that, he was not able to go to Egypt. So he flew to the city where the statue of Happy Prince was installed. When the swallow landed near the statue of Happy Prince, he was very much happy, actually, the little swallow. And he said, "I have a golden bedroom." And somehow he tried to make himself comfortable under the foot of the Happy Prince statue. Just after that, a large drop of water fell, and the little swallow cried, "What a curious thing!" Then another drop fell, and again another drop. After this, little swallow looked up to see, is it raining? I thought the weather is good, and this statue, it's such a big and beautiful statue. What use it is for if it can't stop the rain, if it can't stop the water droplets, and it can't protect me, what is the use of this big statue? And he started murmuring these things, and he looked up. What did he see? He saw that the eyes of the Happy Prince were filled with tears. Little Swallow, he started inquiring the Happy Prince, and he got to know that the Happy Prince spent his life happily and he never knew about sorrow, and he lived in the palace which was without worries. And after his death, his statue was erected so high that he was able to see the ugliness and misery of the city. The story is somewhat like Gautama Buddha's story. First, when he was living inside the palace, he was not aware of the miseries that the world is witnessing. Only when he left the palace, he got to know how cruel the world is, what are the sufferings that human beings undergo. The same way, this happy prince, while he was living in the palace which was without worries, he was not aware of the sorrow. And after his death, his statue was installed so high that now he is able to see the ugliness and misery of the city. After this, Happy Prince he started seeking help of the little swallow to help poor people. Whenever little swallow used to say that he wants to go to Egypt, Happy Prince would ask him to stay one more night and little swallow would oblige. This was something that was happening every day. Why Happy Prince started seeking help from the little swallow? Because Happy Prince can't move. He wants to help people, but little swallow he can move. He can fly all over the city and help people. That's why Happy Prince started seeking help from the little swallow. Happy Prince asked to help a poor woman first. Who did the help at the beginning? First person to get help from the Happy Prince and little swallow, a poor woman who is working as a seamstress. What is she doing? Why she needs help? She is tired and her son is not well, and this son he is laying in a bed in the corner of the house and he has fever and he is asking for oranges. But his mother, she is so poor that she has nothing to offer him but just river water. So now Happy Prince asks little swallow to go and help this woman and asks him to take the ruby out of his sword hilt and give it to the poor woman. So the happy prince, the statue of happy prince asks the little swallow to take the ruby from the handle of the sword of the happy prince and give it to the poor woman. But swallow was reluctant to do so. He says that his friends are waiting for him in Egypt and they're flying up and down the Nile River. Soon they will go to sleep in the tomb of the great king whose coffin has been decorated. He gives all these details that there are so many things that he has to do there and his friends are doing in Egypt. I have to go. This is what the answer given by the little swallow. Finally, somehow Happy Prince convinced the little swallow and he agreed to help the poor woman. He plucks the ruby, takes it and flies over Cathedral Tower. He flies over the palace, he flies over the river, he flies over some slum and finally he reaches the house of the poor woman. Little swallow, he lays the ruby on the table and woman finds it and she feels very happy after that. When day breaks, this happened during night, and when day breaks, Swallow goes around the city and he sees many monuments. People are surprised to see a swallow during winter. Swallow is very much excited to go to Egypt. But when moon rises, Swallow flees back to the Happy Prince. Now again, Happy Prince asks the little swallow to help him, and to which Swallow replies that he has to fly to Egypt and his friends are building a nest in the temple of Baalbek and he explains the beautiful things that are waiting for him. Next, Happy Prince tells the little swallow to go and help a boy. They have helped the poor woman. Now they want to help. I mean, the Happy Prince, the statue of Happy Prince wants to help a boy. What is this boy doing? Who is writing a play for the director of the theater. But he is too cold to write anymore and he is also feeling hungry. He has no money so he can't eat anything and because of that he is unable to write the play for the director of the theater. Now the little swallow takes out the prince's eye and reaches the student and drops the sapphire and returns to the happy prince. Now he has helped that poor boy by taking out one eye of happy prince. What is this eye? That sapphire that was decorated on the statue of the happy prince. Next day, the swallow flies to the harbor and he sits there and he watches sailors and he shouts. He's very much excited. He shouts that I'm going to Egypt. When he comes to the happy prince to bid goodbye, happy prince asks him one more help. Now, the little swallow he's all set to go to Egypt. But happy prince, he's not ready to send him. He asks him one more help. What is this one more help? He tells there is a little match girl who has made her matches fall in the gutter and they're all spoiled now. Her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money. And she is crying. Happy Prince asks the swallow to pluck one more eye and give it to her. But Swallow does not agree to this because Happy Prince would go blind, isn't it, if done so. But Happy Prince somehow persuades the Swallow, and the Swallow plucks the sapphire from the eye of Happy Prince and drops it near the match girl, who feels very happy and she runs home laughing and with a lot of joy. The little Swallow stays with the Happy Prince as he is blind now. He has lost his eyes. Happy Prince has lost his eyes. So the little swallow decides that he has to stay with the Happy Prince. He explains the beautiful things he has seen on his journey. Swallow flies over the great city and sees the miseries of people. He returns to Prince and he explains to him what all he had seen. Now Happy Prince asks the swallow to take off the fine gold which has covered the statue of Happy Prince and give it to poor people. Swallow plucks out leaf after leaf till the Happy Prince looks dull and grey. Now Happy Prince has lost everything. He lost his eyes, sapphires, ruby. He lost the gold which was decorated. He lost everything. Poor little swallow, what happened to him? He grew colder and colder, but he would not leave the prince. They were so close. He loved him too well. He used to eat the crumbs outside the baker's door, and he tried to keep himself warm by flapping his wings. One day, Swallow comes and kisses the Happy Prince and falls down dead at his feet. And the heavy heart of Happy Prince, it breaks into two. Now the little swallow is dead because he grew colder and colder and he had nothing to eat. Not nothing, he had very little to eat. So one day he comes, he kisses the Happy Prince and he falls down dead at the feet of the statue of Happy Prince. By seeing this, the heavy heart of Happy Prince, it breaks into two. Next day, the mayor of the city, he comes with his town councillors and they see the Happy Prince and exclaim that he looks shabby now. Then they held a meeting and they decided that the statue of Happy Prince should be pulled down and the statue of the mayor should be installed in this place. Then the statue was melted in furnace. The broken heavy heart was not melting in the furnace. So they threw it on a dust heap where the red swallow was also lying. So in heaven, there is something that is happening in paradise. What is that? God asks one of his angels to bring him the two most precious things in the city. And angels, what did they bring? They bring him the heart and the dead bird. Angels consider the statue of the Happy Prince, the heart of the Happy Prince, and the dead bird to be very precious. And God says, you have rightly chosen. Even God is very happy with the selection that the angels have made. So what do you understand by this? Why did they select? The statue of Happy Prince had become shabby. That's why it was pulled down and the beautiful statue of the mayor was installed, isn't it? And even dead bird, who will consider the dead body of a bird to be very precious? Why? Why angel selected this one? Why God was very happy and why did he exclaim that you have rightly chosen? Because inner beauty is more attractive than the physical beauty. It does not matter how beautiful you are physically. What is the outward beauty that you have? All that matters is the inner beauty. What are the good qualities that you have? Though the statue of Happy Prince grew shabby at the end, he had that inner beauty, no? Why did he grew to such an extent? Because he had helped people. Whatever costly things he had on his statue, he had given it. He had sacrificed everything to help poor people. And the same is with the little swallow. And sacrifice has a lot of value in God's paradise. God, he or she, always gives importance to people who sacrifice, people who help other people. And love and humanity are the two great virtues you can find in this lesson. This is all about the short story, The Happy Prince. Now we will move to the last part of the revision video, that is the poem. It is also a beautiful poem titled as The Sundarbans. This poem, it was originally written by Sushil Mandal. It was written by Sushil Mandal and later it was translated into English by Shishir Roy. What is this Sundarbans? It is a mangrove area in the delta formed by the meeting of river Ganga, Brahmaputra and Meghna in the Bay of Bengal. What can you find in this poem, or what is that the poem basically talking about? It gives us a pensive sketch of Dalit life in the remotest nooks of the marshlands. Then it talks about human wildlife conflict. You must all be aware of this human wildlife conflict. What are we doing to forests, trees? What are we doing to wildlife, animals, in the name of economic development? And how is it resulting in human wildlife conflict? You should all be reading about this in newspapers every day. So this poem talks about human wildlife conflict, and it also talks about plight of tribal. We all know this. What is the impact of economic development and the policies that we human beings are making on the tribal people? They're so much dependent on forests. They're so much dependent on so many things, hunting or gathering honey, whatever it is. And how the policies that we are making is affecting them. So it talks about the plight of tribal people also. So we'll start with the poem. The voice in the poem is asking the person who has come to visit Sundarbans that where he is coming from. The poet is not speaking to us directly. There is a narrator that the poet is making use of. And this narrator in the poem is asking the person, that is a person who has come to visit the Sundarbans. And the narrator of the poem, a person, he is asking the person who has come to visit Sundarbans that where he is coming from. And he asks if he is coming from Kolkata and who has sent him. He asks all these questions. He says that people come to Sundarbans to see the tigers and nobody is interested to inquire about people who live there. Visitors have so many things to see and enjoy. What can they see here? Like tigers, crocodile, hental tree, sundari trees, the mangrove, everything. All these attract the visitors and they write poetry on all these colorful leaves. The narrator is upset that only tribal people whom he calls as black bodies are left unnoticed. Visitors, people, travelers, tourists who come to Sundarbans, they see all the other things and they write beautiful poetries. But they don't care. They don't notice the black bodies or the Dalit people or the tribal people that are present there. Then he talks about the children who live there. Even their plight is same. He tells that they're all poor and they're scavengers. And when these visitors who come, when they eat the orange and when they throw away the orange peels, these poor children, they fight to get those waste items and they fight for it. This is the plight of Dalit children or the tribal children there. Next, the narrator asks if the Royal Bengal tigers fascinate the people who visit Sundarbans. Sundarbans is very famous for Sundari trees and the Royal Bengal tigers. So, when you come and visit the Sundarbans, you see Royal Bengal tigers and you're very much fascinated by it, isn't it? And you ask, these visitors exclaim, how wonderful tigers are. And what's the reason behind it? What is the reason behind these beautiful Royal Bengal tigers? These visitors, they don't know that there is a secret behind these tigers. Poet calls the tiger as man-eater. Why? Because the tiger has killed so many people. The tiger has killed Subal, Fateh Ali, and many more tribal people. This is what is the human and wildlife conflict. So the tiger has killed Subal, Fateh Ali, Haripada, all these people, and many more tribal people. And Subal's wife, without having any other alternative and unable to bear hunger, she hanged herself. Subal's wife killed herself because her husband was dead and there was nobody to take care of the family. The only breadwinner of the family was gone. He was killed by Royal Bengal tiger. So without having any alternative and unable to bear hunger, she hanged herself. At the end, narrator tells that they are waiting for the minister to come. They remember that he came once and promised them that he would transform Sundarbans and provide all the basic needs. This is something even we people see. Politicians come when they need votes. During elections, they come. After that, we will not find them. And the same is the plight of these tribal people. Minister had come long back and he had promised that I will transform your Sundarbans and provide you all the basic needs like roads, water supply, and everything, food, everything I'll provide you. But he never came back. Now the narrator asks the visitor to go and tell the minister that the stomachs of tribals of Sundarbans is full with the flood water, which indicates that they are fed up with the frequent flood and are looking for some relief measures. So this is how the poem ends. So you should, when you write the answers for the questions that will be asked from the poem Sundarbans, try to bring these 2-3 points: human wildlife conflict, plight of tribal communities, and these pensive sketches of Dalit life in the remotest nooks of the marshlands. So this is all about the poem Sundarbans. So find the revision of remaining lessons in the part 1 of the video, and thank you for watching. Thank you.